Hola, hola everyone. My name is Dr. Thania Acarón. I'm a dance movement psychotherapist from Puerto Rico, but I spent 5 years here in Scotland, and I'm bringing this video to you from here. I'm visiting very briefly, but I just wanted to feature a bit of the Edinburgh Castle and talk to you about my experiences of living internationally across 5 different countries.
Originally, I'm from a town called Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, on the west part of the island, where I grew up. And then I spent 8 years in New York, where I did my master's in dance education and did alternate route in dance movement therapy. Then I spent 2 years in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, where I conducted private practice and ran one of the first DMT workshops for LGBTQ plus individuals. Then I got a scholarship to undertake my PhD in Scotland on the area of dance movement and violence prevention at the University of Aberdeen, and then simultaneously worked as a DMT lecturer at Queen Margaret University in their program, which closed in 2015. After 5 years in Scotland, where I undertook my practice in dance and dance movement therapy, I was touring different types of work internationally, and then accepted a job in Wales. And I've been here ever since. So I've been 11 years total in the UK. Each of these opportunities has allowed me to teach DMT in many different countries. Buenos Aires, Argentina, Brazil, Latvia, Greece, Finland, Germany, Oslo, China, and Hong Kong, which has been quite an incredible honor to meet all these students and people passionate about dance therapy and meet in movement, sometimes with translators, sometimes just relying on our bodies to communicate and connect. And in 2020, I had an amazing opportunity to develop my own company called The Body Hotel, which was a big dream of creating a dance movement therapy social enterprise and bringing kind of movement for well-being to the public health sector and to marginalized communities, focusing on the LGBTQ plus community. So that's my two loves being consolidated. It has an international feel because I've been able to do workshops with different partners in Latin America, also conferences, now doing some training for people who work with refugees and asylum seekers in California. My experience in transitioning from country to country, I have to say, was an interesting mix of this openness and adaptability that's required to make new friends, to make new networks. My first go-to was to contact the local DMT association. That's what happened in Greece. And I just said, listen, I'm doing a dance workshop here. And they were amazing. They took me out to dinner, then invited me to do another professional development workshop. And that workshop was quite seminal in my PhD research and is also one of the reasons I'm writing a book. The kind of constant move inspired one of my second project in Scotland called When in Rome, ROAM, where I talked about that experience of the roamer, the person that always has to follow the job, follow the opportunity, and has to start over, which is, could be quite difficult at times, and obviously coordinating time zones with different meetings and with family has always been quite a challenge. And I'm very thankful to all the new technology that allows us to at least video call somebody and hear them and see them in real time, which is very important. And I also have to say that doing the alternate route, I think, prepared me for the without knowing, because at that time, I didn't know that my life would have so many different journeys in different countries. But that flexibility to work with your dream teachers and to always be in new spaces and with new groups in an intensive way, I think laid the groundwork really for understanding the makeup of difference and really practicing the compromise that is always involved when you encounter somebody who has had a very, very, very different life experience from you. In Argentina, people would hear the Spanish accent, and obviously my accent is very different. They're like, okay, where are you from? And that's kind of followed me ever since. There's always a sense of other, but in most places, there's been always this curiosity as well. The impact on my family was I think they were quite shocked when I decided to leave public school, kind of very steady job, doing dance therapy that I had been doing 6 years, to venture out. And they thought I was just, I've lost the plot. Why are you going to give up this very steady thing? And I just said, well, I need to find out why I love dance in the first place. And I think that's what prompted the 2 years in Argentina, developing the practice, and also changed my client group. That's my love right now, focusing on diversity and equality and inclusion in dance movement therapy and doing training on that. Dance movement therapy has been quite a big family. I mean, looking at all these places that I've been in, there's always a warm welcome, and there's always the uniqueness of DMT that just bonds us, right? Because there's not a lot of DMTs in the world, unfortunately. And then also learning a bit from every DMT program that I worked in, and learning bits of the language, or learning their traditions, and most importantly, the food, which was one of the highlight of all the trips. Understanding how a culture really bonds over food. Being a migrant is a very tricky experience. You're always other, which in some environments has been definitely a plus. I think I emailed, for example, Scotland before arriving for my PhD, and the dance development officer at Citymoves in Aberdeen was like, yes, great, you're coming for all this international experience. When can we meet? So I got off the plane and literally met her the next day. And she's been one of the reasons I've gotten a lot of opportunities in terms of performing and developing my work originally in Scotland. Really, really humbling to also be sometimes the first Puerto Rican that somebody meets. Have to draw it in a map.
Do you even know where it is? It's 2 islands right of Cuba. That's what I just tell people. It's easier that way. Yeah.
I have to say, we are 2 islands right of Cuba, and kind of make it a part of a normal conversation, just geographically locating where I'm from. So I feel a big responsibility to keep representing the island. And since 2006, I led the first DMT introductory workshop, and then kind of principles of DMT in education, and different types of workshops for teachers for the Department of Education. And then since then, I've done the Puerto Rican International Dance Festival, and in 2019 was the keynote speaker for the first DMT conference sponsored by the Puerto Rico ADTA chapter, which is, was kind of a full circle, and I just felt fully embraced by the Puerto Rican dance therapists. Recently this year, an additional kind of hand across the Atlantic has been being the co-editor-in-chief of the American Journal of Dance Therapy with Aisha Robinson, who's an incredible co-editor, to bring light to new topics with a diverse focus, a multicultural focus, and an international focus, as well as nurturing the ADTA. I can tell you that movement has been the main healer. It has been the main connector. It has been the way, even because I've been able to perform more, because I've been able to be in higher education environments, which are very nurturing. Right now, the University of South Wales is where I work, and I'm part of the Arts, Health and Wellbeing program, and then collaborate with music therapy, collaborate with art therapy here, and I'm part of a bigger network and a Wales dance therapy network. So I feel connected through the aspects of movement. And then as part of the Red de Mete Latinx, I was part of the initial development of that network and the LGBT network here in the UK. It's been really important to just keep those aspects of my identity woven in, and also to be able to share with other colleagues, but also to be able to support each other and to understand the nuances of these identities that make us all up. I always miss the warmth of the people back home, and the familiarity and the values that really put family and friends first and loved ones first. There's always that seeking to understand others, seeking to understand how other people understand the world, and not trying always to impose the way we've been brought up. That's been a really important lesson, that openness, that curiosity, and that extending of that hand in movement, and an embrace of difference in different spaces. Thank you very much.